Ever wondered how France transformed from ancient tribes to one of the world's most influential nations? In this video, we'll take you through the rich history of France, from the ancient Gauls to the rise of powerful monarchs, the French Revolution, and the era of Napoleon. We'll also explore France's transformation into a modern republic and its role in today's world. Join us as we uncover the key events that shaped this iconic nation. Let's dive in. Ancient France, the land of the Gauls. Long before the grand castles of kings and powerful armies, the land that we now call France was home to Celtic tribes called the Gauls. These tribes lived in a region known as Gaul, which was a land full of forests, rivers, and hills. The Gauls were fierce warriors, but their way of life was about to change forever. In the 1st century BC, a mighty empire from the south, the Romans, invaded Gaul. Led by Julius Caesar, the Romans defeated the Gauls in the famous Gallic Wars. After the Romans took control, Gaul became part of the Roman Empire, and over time the Gauls began to adopt Roman ways of life. One of the most important changes was the spread of the Latin language, which would eventually evolve into the French language we know today. However, Rome's power was not eternal. As the Roman Empire began to fall apart in the 5th century, new invaders came from the north, the Franks. These Germanic tribes settled in Gaul, and one of their leaders, Clovis, became the first king of the Franks. He united the tribes and made a key decision. He converted to Christianity, which would play a significant role in France's future. The rise of the Frankish kingdom. By the time of Clovis, the Frankish kingdom began to grow stronger. Clovis's descendants, the Merovingians, ruled over a large part of Gaul, and eventually, the region became known as West Francia. It wasn't long before the Carolingians came to power, with a famous leader named Charlemagne. Charlemagne, also known as Charles the Great, expanded the Frankish Empire into what is now modern-day France, Germany, and parts of Italy. Charlemagne was crowned emperor of the Romans by the Pope in 800 AD, marking the beginning of what many historians call the Holy Roman Empire. Under his rule, the Frankish kingdom reached its peak, and Charlemagne became one of the most famous rulers of medieval Europe. However, after Charlemagne's death, the empire started to split into smaller kingdoms. In 843 AD, the Treaty of Verdun divided the Carolingian Empire into 3 parts: West Francia, Middle Francia, and East Francia. West Francia would eventually evolve into the Kingdom of France. The 100 Years' War and the rise of French nationalism. By the 14th century, France faced one of its most difficult challenges, the 100 Years' War. This was a long and bitter conflict between France and England that lasted from 1337 to 1453. The war started because of a dispute over who should be the rightful king of France. The English king Edward III believed he had a claim to the French throne, but the French royal family, the Valois, disagreed. During this war, many famous events took place. One of the most inspiring figures of this period was Joan of Arc, a young peasant girl who believed she was sent by God to help France win the war. Joan led French troops to several key victories and became a symbol of French strength and pride. Sadly, she was captured by the English and executed, but her legacy lived on. By the end of the war in 1453, the French had driven the English out of most of their territory, and the Valois dynasty secured its place on the throne. The victory in the 100 Years' War also helped spark a sense of nationalism among the French people, uniting them under a common identity: the French Renaissance and wars of religion. In the 16th century, France entered a new era, the Renaissance. This was a time of great cultural and intellectual growth, where art, literature, and science flourished. Kings like Francis I encouraged the arts, and many great works of art and architecture were created, including the famous Château de Chambord. Have you ever seen these amazing buildings and thought about how they were created during this time? But not all was peaceful during this time. France was also torn apart by the wars of religion between Catholics and Protestants, Huguenots. The wars were violent and left many dead. The turning point came when King Henry IV, a former Huguenot who converted to Catholicism, issued the Edict of Nantes in 1598. This document allowed the Huguenots to practice their religion freely, bringing an end to the fighting. Wouldn't it have been amazing to see religious tolerance brought to life during such turbulent times? The age of Louis XIV, the Sun King. In the 17th century, France was ruled by one of its most famous kings, Louis XIV, also known as the Sun King. Louis XIV ruled for 72 years, longer than any other European monarch. He made France the most powerful country in Europe, but his reign came at cost. Can you imagine ruling for more than 7 decades? How would you handle all that power? Louis XIV centralized power in the monarchy and built the magnificent Palace of Versailles, a symbol of his absolute power. He believed in the divine right of kings, that his authority came directly from God. Louis XIV's extravagant lifestyle and constant wars drained France's finances, leading to economic struggles later on. The French Revolution, the fall of the monarchy. By the late 18th century, France was in trouble. The country was facing a financial crisis, and the people were growing angry at the lavish lifestyle of the monarchy. In 1789, the French Revolution erupted. The people of France rose up against King Louis XVI and the nobility, demanding liberty, equality, and fraternity. What do you think it would feel like to be part of a revolution like that? The revolution quickly became a violent struggle, with thousands of people executed during the Reign of Terror. The monarchy was abolished, and France was declared a republic. King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette were both executed by guillotine. The revolution set the stage for the rise of one of history's most famous figures, Napoleon Bonaparte. Could anyone have predicted the rise of Napoleon after the revolution? Napoleon and the rise of the French Empire. After the revolution, France went through a series of unstable governments. In 1799, Napoleon Bonaparte, a talented military general, seized power in a coup and declared himself first consul of France. In 1804, he crowned himself Emperor of the French and set out to expand his empire across Europe. Do you think Napoleon's ambition was a strength or a weakness? Napoleon was a brilliant military leader, but his dreams of a European empire were shattered after his defeat at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. The Bourbon monarchy was restored, but the impact of Napoleon's reign still shaped France for many years. Modern France, a republic in the 21st century. Fast forward to the 21st century, and France is now one of the leading nations in the world. In 2025, France is a republic with a strong economy and a prominent role in global politics. The current president of France is Emmanuel Macron, who was first elected in 2017 and re-elected in 2022. Under his leadership, France is focused on issues like climate change, economic modernization, and international cooperation. What do you think France's role will be in shaping the future of the world? France is also making strides in technology, space exploration, and green energy. The country is investing in renewable energy, aiming to reduce carbon emissions and become a global leader in sustainability. France is also committed to digital innovation, making advancements in artificial intelligence, robotics, and other cutting-edge fields. The future of France. Looking ahead, France has an exciting future. The country is tackling new challenges like the global climate crisis and embracing new opportunities, such as technological advancements in AI and clean energy. As one of the world's largest economies, France will continue to shape the future of Europe and the world. What do you think will be the biggest change in France over the next 50 years? If you enjoyed this fascinating journey through the history of France, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and share this video with your friends. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos on history, culture, and so much more.